Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a truly audacious business planning framework. And it demands the meticulous integration of two things that, let's be honest, we usually keep pretty far apart: raw emotion and cold, hard logic. Derived straight from Patrick Bet-David's groundbreaking methodology, this is a literal roadmap for anyone out there who wants to build something extraordinary. So let's dive right into this with a pretty provocative question. What is the hidden fuel missing from most business plans? You know the ones I'm talking about. They look amazing in a binder, they're packed full of charts and flawless spreadsheets, but they just end up gathering dust in a drawer by, what, February? Why exactly do they fail to launch? Well, the answer lies in becoming part of what the source calls the audacious few. We're talking about entrepreneurs who don't just tolerate adversity, they actively harness it. They understand that choosing the right enemy is absolutely crucial. It's the ultimate combustible fuel you need to write your own rags to riches story. I mean, words like perseverance are great for a motivational poster, right? But they don't tell you exactly how to execute a dream. An enemy, on the other hand, definitely does. All right, here's our agenda for today. We'll start with the power of an enemy, then look at emotion versus logic, go through the 12 building blocks, discuss the paradigm shift, cover vision and capital, and finally wrap up with rolling out your plan. Section 1. The power of an enemy, the catalyst. Back in 2002, a broke 24-year-old Patrick Bet-David overheard this deeply sarcastic, devastating comment at a Christmas party. A man was mocking his struggling father, calling him a brilliant chemist in Iran who was now just a 99-cent store cashier in America. Hearing his dad humiliated like that, it triggered an unstoppable fury. He actually told his family that night, "I'm not going to sleep until the world knows our last name." That anger wasn't destructive for him at all. It became his absolute ultimate catalyst. So think about it. Who is your enemy? Is it a hater, a doubter, maybe a past failure, or even a toxic ideology? Now, according to the source, this isn't some kind of toxicity you need to avoid. Actually, it's the exact combustible fuel you need to push through seemingly insurmountable obstacles. When the bill collectors start calling and that urge to just quit gets really strong, the sheer desire to prove your chosen enemy wrong, that's what's going to keep you in the fight. Section 2. Emotion versus logic. Let's look at two types of people we see literally every day in the business world. First, we have Ernie. He represents pure emotion. Ernie is deeply passionate, highly motivated, but he totally lacks systems. Then, on the flip side, we have Larry, representing pure logic. Now, Larry brings flawless spreadsheets and really crisp execution, but he completely lacks inspiration. And what the source proves is that both of these approaches will ultimately fail in isolation. Ernie just can't execute, and Larry, well, Larry can inspire a team to run through brick walls for him. The real secret here is that you absolutely have to integrate both. Section 3. The 12 building blocks. So, if you want to reach the top of the audacious few pyramid, relying on just one side of that equation just won't cut it. 6 emotional blocks on the left side have to perfectly integrate with 6 logical blocks on the right. Basically, you need the why just as much as you need the how. At the very foundation of this whole pyramid, your deeply emotional enemy sits right alongside a strictly logical analysis of your competition. Think about it. You start by figuring out exactly who you want to beat on a really visceral level, but then you instantly pair that emotional fire with a cold, calculated market analysis of your competitors. Without building this dual foundation first, the rest of the framework is just going to crumble. As we move upward through the pyramid, notice how we're constantly bouncing between the emotional why and a logical how in every single layer. Pure willpower drives you to acquire hard skills. An inspiring mission gives real meaning to a tactical plan. Your absolute wildest dreams, they have to be supported by automated systems. And a vibrant shared culture is exactly what allows you to recruit and retain an elite team. I mean, if you only have dreams without systems, you're really just wishing. And if you have a plan without a mission, well, your employees are just going to fall asleep in the boardroom. Section 4. The paradigm shift. Now let's talk about the true value of your team members. If you hire someone with strong character and good hard skills, hey, congratulations, you've got yourself a reliable citizen, and they'll bring your company some steady, linear growth. But, and this is a big but, if you can trigger a paradigm shift in their soft skills, their mindset, their leadership, their emotional intelligence, they transform into an impactful citizen. These are those rare, incredibly valuable individuals who will create explosive, exponential growth for your business. Section 5. Vision and Capital. Reaching the absolute peak of the framework, your inspiring, highly emotional vision, which includes all your non-negotiable values and your envisioned future, has to be met with the purely logical requirement of raising capital. Because let's face it, you can have the most breathtaking vision in the entire world, but if you run out of money, it dies. Period. And conversely, investors just aren't going to give you their capital unless your vision fundamentally moves them. To actually secure this capital, you've got to follow 3 sequential steps. First up, you need a clear, concise verbal elevator pitch. That's your hook. It grabs their attention in seconds. Second, you present a 15-slide deck. This is your logical story. We're talking the data, the market size, the financial projections. And third, you wrap the whole thing up in a narrative presentation. That is where you inject the emotion to completely enroll their hearts. At the end of the day, investors write checks when logic validates what their emotions are already telling them to do. Section 6. Rolling out your plan. The absolute smartest plan in the world is totally useless if it's too complex to follow. So keep it simple. Distill this entire 12-block framework down to just 3 pages. And when you share it, your main goal is to enroll your team, meaning they buy in voluntarily because they're genuinely inspired. Rather than just enlisting them like soldiers blindly following orders, you also have to build your KPIs and incentives directly into this strategy. And please remember this, if you don't even look at the plan after February, it's not a business plan. It's just a wish list. You absolutely must course correct at the end of every single quarter. To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, pretty provocative thought derived straight from our source. You understand the framework now. You know that you absolutely must pair flawless logic with deep, undeniable emotion. But none of this works without a spark. So, who is the enemy you're going to choose to fuel your audacious future? Find them, thank them for the motivation, and then get to work.